12 years of marriage, 12 birthdays, 12 anniversaries, 12 Christmas mornings together, all erased, with one text message. He said he found someone more exciting. A 26-year-old who gets him, said he didn't want to hurt me, right after handing me divorce papers over brunch. He thought I'd fall apart, cry, beg. Instead, I smiled and quietly started building the end of his perfect little fantasy. He left me for a younger woman, so I gave her the life he truly deserved. When I first met Daniel, he was barely scraping by, fresh out of law school, drowning in student debt, and renting a single room in a shared house with 3 other guys who played Xbox like it was a religion. I was already working full-time, marketing executive, early 30s, good salary, no family ties holding me back. I wasn't looking to rescue anyone, but something about him was magnetic. He was ambitious, charming. He made big promises, not just about success, but about us, about forever. When he proposed 2 years later, I didn't hesitate. I paid for most of the wedding, our honeymoon, even the down payment on the condo where we started our life. He always promised, once I make partner, I'll repay you tenfold. And I believed him. The first few years, they were good, not perfect, but real. We worked hard, built a life, late nights at the office, shared calendars, take-out dinners eaten on the couch while watching legal dramas he'd pick apart like he was already some hotshot attorney. We didn't have kids, not because we couldn't, but because he said, let's wait until things settle. Well, things never settled, and maybe I was too focused on building stability to realize how much I was sacrificing. My hobbies faded. My social life shrank. I became the wife, the support system, the CFO of our lives, while he played the visionary. Then came year 11. Subtle changes at first. Less eye contact, more business trips, a new gym routine, new cologne. I remember joking. Trying to impress someone? He laughed it off, but his eyes didn't. On our 12th anniversary, he forgot the reservation, claimed he had a client dinner. I dined alone, told myself he was just busy, stressed, not distant, not disloyal. But 2 weeks later, I found the receipt, a jewelry box from Cartier charged to our joint card. I never got that necklace. I waited, quietly. I didn't confront him, not yet. I wanted to see where it led. And it led straight to a woman named Maddie. She was 26, a barista turned consultant he met during a networking event. His words. She had a butterfly tattoo on her wrist and a TikTok account full of mirror selfies and travel hacks. I didn't hate her. Not at first. Because she wasn't the real problem. He was. When I finally asked him, he didn't even try to deny it, just sat there, sipping his coffee like we were discussing weekend plans. Said he felt trapped with me, that Maddie made him feel young again, that he was done pretending he was happy. Then he handed me the divorce papers, cold, pre-signed, like it was a formality, like I didn't just invest 12 years of my life, love, money, and career into this man who now acted like I was a footnote in his story. He even had the nerve to say, let's keep it civil. We can split what's left. Like I was some disposable business partner. He thought I'd break, cry, leave quietly with whatever crumbs he tossed my way. But what Daniel didn't realize was that I already knew how this game worked, and this time, I wasn't going to play nice. That night, I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't beg. I nodded, thanked him for his honesty, and told him I'd need some time to think. That rattled him more than any breakdown ever could. He wasn't expecting calm. He wasn't expecting silence, but that silence gave me power. because while he was busy celebrating his newfound freedom with a 26-year-old who thought mutual funds were a dating app, I was preparing for war. I went to our guest room, shut the door, and pulled out a file folder. Every pay stub, every receipt, every transfer I had quietly documented over the last 3 years. See, Daniel had always been sloppy with money, and I had always cleaned it up. Now I saw the full picture, and what I found made me sick. He'd funneled nearly $80,000 from our joint accounts into consulting expenses, wellness retreats, and business startup funding, which in reality meant airfare for 2 to Ibiza, a rented BMW, designer handbags, and of course, that Cartier necklace. All for Maddie. Here's where it got interesting. Daniel had forced me to sign a prenup when we married. Back then, I didn't care. I was in love, and the clause only protected his student loan forgiveness and future earnings from his dream job. But what he didn't realize was that the prenup became void when one party commits financial fraud using marital assets. That's not just unethical, it's illegal. And I had proof, spreadsheets, bank statements, even texts he accidentally backed up to our shared cloud referring to me as the investor to his little girlfriend. So I called a lawyer, not just any lawyer, his mentor, the one who gave him his first internship, the one who owed me for helping get his firm through a PR scandal. And I explained everything. She didn't hesitate. She took my case for free. By the time Daniel served me with his laughable division of assets, I'd already frozen our accounts, filed for forensic review of all transactions, and placed a lien on his new office space. The look on his face when he got that call? Priceless. But I wasn't done. I did my homework on Maddie, too. She'd registered her boutique wellness brand under Daniel's name. Smart girl, in theory, until I sent an anonymous tip to the IRS about a sudden influx of unreported income tied to a business with no licenses, no tax filings, and a laughably fake website made on Wix. 1 month later, she was served with a federal audit notice. Her brand's Instagram account vanished overnight. Her apartment, paid for by Daniel, was suddenly locked down by the landlord after his rent checks bounced when I froze the joint credit line. The cherry on top? I bought the building where she'd been renting retail space for her pop-up events. I tripled the rent. She couldn't pay. She was out within 30 days. And Daniel? He had to move back into his college roommate's guest house while the case dragged through court. His firm found out about the financial misappropriation. He lost 2 clients, and the new partnership pulled from under him like a rug. My lawyer told me I could go after more. I didn't. I took what I was owed, half of everything, plus interest, the house, my retirement account, the luxury car in my name. I left him with his debt, his disgrace, and his soulmate. And then I gave her everything she thought she wanted. Maddie lasted 4 months. That's how long she made it playing house with a man who couldn't pay for his own Uber Eats without checking his account balance first. 4 months of passive-aggressive texts, eviction notices, and no more surprise jewelry boxes or self-care weekends in Aspen. I didn't have to lift a finger after that. I'd already set the fuse. All I had to do was watch it burn. She messaged me once, through a burner Instagram account, said I'd ruined her life, called me bitter, said I should be ashamed of myself for punishing another woman. I didn't reply, but I did forward the message to my lawyer and to the investigator still looking into her unpaid taxes. Daniel, on the other hand, spiraled. The court ordered him to pay alimony, because despite the prenup, he was the one who violated its terms. He tried to fight it, of course, claimed I manipulated him, said I baited him with financial control. The judge laughed. The courtroom laughed. I stayed quiet, just like I did when he handed me divorce papers over brunch. Silence can be so much louder than shouting. I took my share and rebuilt, not the old life, but a better one. I started consulting again, but this time on my terms. I moved to the coast, bought a townhouse with an ocean view, took up painting, hosted dinner parties, reconnected with friends I hadn't seen in years. One night I heard Daniel's voice on the news, something about a firm under review for ethics violations, a former partner gone rogue. My phone buzzed with old colleagues asking, "Wasn't that your ex?" I just smiled and poured another glass of wine. I heard Maddie moved back in with her parents, started a GoFundMe to start her dream business. It didn't go far. A few weeks later, a package arrived at my door. No note, no return address, just a small Cartier box. Inside it, the same necklace from the receipt I found a year ago, and the chain was snapped. I had it melted down, made into a ring, not for me, but for my lawyer, who won the case with the kind of precision Daniel used to brag about. People ask me if I ever miss him, if I ever feel guilty for how it ended. No, I don't miss the man who saw me as a safety net. I don't miss the woman I became trying to keep him afloat. He left me for someone younger, so I gave her the version of him that didn't have me cleaning up his messes. And I walked away, with peace, with power, and with everything he thought I'd never be strong enough to claim. You don't have to scream to be heard. Sometimes the quietest woman in the room is the one who writes the final chapter. Some say revenge is petty. I say it's precise. I didn't ruin his life. I just stopped protecting him from the consequences of his own choices. He wanted someone younger, someone fun. He got her, and she got the real him, broke, bitter, and broken. As for me, I didn't just move on, I moved up. He thought I'd be his cautionary tale. Instead, I became the story people tell when they talk about rising from the ashes with diamonds in their hands. Let them call it revenge. I call it reclaiming what was always mine.